IG in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Listen, it's your boy Coach Josh Smalls. Welcome to Coffee Time with Coach, man. It is already it's a hell of a day already. It is one hell of a morning already. I was not prepared for this morning to be as such, but nonetheless, here we are, here in the land of the living. Let me turn that volume up right there. And I am ready for this day. Uh don't know what this day is going to bring. I have a very, I have a good friend of mine who's going to be here today as a guest. And she is hilarious, but she is a businesswoman. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of the work that she does. It's going to be super dope. So good morning, everybody in the building. It is coffee time with Coach Ja. It looks like I have some sort of film on my phone, and I don't like that. It's coffee time with Coach Ja. If you are here for your first time, welcome to my place. We are here every morning, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Lady V, what's good? 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. After that, I go over to comedian Stefan's page because he does a prayer session, and he prays for people. And we spiritual in the day, but we ignorant at night. That is one of the things that he always says, and I love it. And I stole it because that's what we do when we hear stuff that's fly. We steal it. So, good morning. I hope you have your coffee and tea ready. I absolutely love coffee first thing in the morning. Um, I am preparing myself for quite a few things. IG, welcome all y'all that are here. Funky Thursday, yeah. Um, I am preparing myself for some amazing things that are happening. I've met some amazing people. I've come back in contact with some amazing people who are doing amazing things. And together we're working on some amazing stuff to bring to the masses. Tiffany, good morning. Let me speak to all my folks on IG that are in. Only One, Emmanuel Cole, Blood Brother Mike, Tiffany, and Miss Baldwin. Thank y'all for tuning in so early. Appreciate y'all. Everybody else is late. We just gonna tell them that they're late. You're late. You're late. You're late. Listen, if you've not been on with my boy Stefan, man, you missing out because he's hilarious. Um, um, but yeah, we're working on the Zoom. We're working on the Zoom. Um, Today marks a significant day. Today is my youngest brother's birthday. I didn't get to holler at him yet, but I'm gonna holler at him in a minute. We usually there's something in our family that we do. We kind of always try to be the first one to say happy birthday to the other one, and I'm not always the last one, but I hardly ever am the first one. And just because my family, like they sit there and wait, and they wait, and then as soon as 12 o'clock comes, they beat me to it. So I'll get 12:01 where I'll be like, yeah, okay, I made it, and I'm still not making. I'm still lost, but that's another story. I think family time is amazing. I think we should try to spend more time with our families. I think we need to um, find out what we're missing within our family element that's making that. Sometimes there's conversations that need to be had. Sometimes there's a lot of um, damage that needs to be fixed, a lot of love that needs to be repaired and restored. I do know that there are situations that are almost irreversible, if you would, and I understand that. And I'm by no means saying that that is something that you have to do for yourself. I'm just saying that I think, um, we have an opportunity to fix those family situations, those family issues. We need to address them so that we can make family what they need to be. Um, and again, I don't know everybody's situation, so I'm not. I'm just a messenger, delivering a message that I feel is right. Ain't right tribe in the building, Synergy Nights in the building. I definitely want people to be in the realms of love, whatever that means to you, right? Real love. And I think it starts internal. I think it starts on the inside. I think you have to learn to love yourself in a way that people on the outside begin to see that, and then they actually will be able to accept that. And I think that's one of the things that we need to work on as an individual. And I think it starts inside. Once you work on inside, you end up getting everything else on the outside. Um, Miranda, what are you doing? Follow the link, please. Um, but I definitely am into family and family building, family sharing. Of course, my family is not perfect, and we have um, challenges within our family realm too. But we're willing to work on it, and I think the willingness is all that it's about. If you're willing to work on whatever your family issues are, I think you'll be fine with being able to fix some things that you might not have understood or understand. So, um, yeah, man, I'm just really feeling good today, um, and I'm excited about what's coming and what's about to come, and the future is as bright as you make it. I think people need to learn that and within themselves, you have the power to do so many great things, and you can actually make your future be exactly what you want it to be, or you should strive to make it as close to what you need it or want it to be. And you should do that every day of your life, and you won't miss out. I've had the honor of um, being with some very successful folks, being with some very fortunate folks, right? Folks who have been in some places that are doing really good by them, financially and professionally. And I think um, one of the things that we miss is we're so busy worrying about the end game that we forget about the small steps that it takes to get there. And I think when we do that, we actually shoot ourselves in the foot. And I'm a prime example. I'm talking about myself first. We end up saying things and doing things that are outside of what we're planning. And we're outside of what we're planning because we are not paying attention to what it takes. So I use physics as good morning, everybody coming in. I use physics as an example because physics works great for me. Physics says that when, in order for me to move forward, right, your head has to lean forward for the body to go. But your head does two things. Well, several steps in that because the thought has to come, right? And then the head has to send signals to the parts of the body to make the head lean forward so that the body can follow. And the mind is doing all these things at one time, which means that your mind can work like that on many different things. But there's a focus that you should have when you're working on a particular thing. And I think we miss that when we're so busy doing everything else. And it's not the worst situation, but it's not the best situation. And I think there's so much that we learn when we sit back for a moment and kind of take a moment to think about what it is that we're doing, what we're striving for, what our goal is. And once we find out what our goal is and we have the desire to get there, we have to sit there and say, okay, is this something that I really want? And then determine how bad you want it. Because if not, then you're just living off a dream that may or may not come true. And I don't want to shoot you down, but I want you to have the best. I want you to strive to be the best. That's why I always end my show the same. But anyway, I'm gonna take a sip of this coffee and I'm bringing our guest up because yeah, that's I got the power. And she's gonna talk mess about me, but it's all good because I love her anyway. Yes, I just slurped my coffee. I've been doing better, okay? I've been doing better. So, as a matter of fact, y'all welcome to the stage, to the mic, to the screens, my good friend. I call her Randa. Well, her name is Maranda Joyner, and I call her Randa, and she can't stop me from loving her and calling her Randa. That's just what it is. What up, Randa?
It's fine. The only other person that calls me Randa is my aunt.
Really?
I have a lot of nicknames. Nobody calls me Randa but my aunt for the most part. I don't think
Because
there are too many people that call me that.
me and your aunt, we right here. Me and your aunt.
I can believe that. I can believe that for more reasons than one. I can believe that.
I can do that. Listen, so tell the people who you are, where you're from, what you do, anything you want to share about yourself. Who is Miranda Joyner?
Okay. So my name is Maranda Joyner. I am from Jackson, Mississippi. And Jackson is progressive and artsy and cultural. So don't get twisted for those of you who might have never been through Mississippi and think all the dumb stuff you might think about a state that you've never visited, okay? Just because of the color of the state. All right, so yeah, so I am a brand strategist, former radio personality. I host and run an open mic. We've been doing it here live for 7 years, every month consistently for 7 years up until COVID hit. This is the longest we've ever gone without meeting and connecting, which sucks. But you know, we are virtual every Thursday on a Synergy Nights page is the name of the open mic, Synergy Nights. And yeah, by day, I am a brand strategist. So I work with entrepreneurs, creators, and business owners. I help them with messaging, branding, and really just doing what to say, connect to their audience so that they can make money and charge what their worth is. But ultimately, helping entrepreneurs to show up better, especially African American entrepreneurs. So yeah.
In other words, she's a thug. She's a business.
No,
I,
I'm not.
I
No,
tell you
that is
what I
not
love.
anywhere on my resume.
No, 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 it's not anyway. But I tell you what I do love. I do love when I come on and when you're on your live and you're talking and you're asking folks about business or having them ask you questions about business. I do love the manner about that you use when you're giving them information, and it's very inviting because a lot of times when you're speaking information with smart people, I would say, right? You know how we are smart. Oh, they so smart, but people who are in business, they use business terminologies that we don't understand, which is why I don't like law because I don't understand what law says. It's tell me, can I do this and not go to jail or not? That's all I need to know. There's a way that there's a tone that you use, there's expressions that you use, there's a lot of ways that you manage how you talk to people about business. And I really, really appreciate it. Like, I be stuck on your page, knowing I got work to do. I'll be like, damn, I didn't think about that. Let me write that down. Right. What is that called? What do you call that session that you do?
On Monday nights. So on Monday nights, I just recently started going live. What happened was so funny.
What had happened was.
What happened was I probably should have been doing this, but I took a break from Synergy in the month of October, and I started thinking, man, I should probably do something else to with my own page to show presence because I was so committed to showing up on Synergy's page, and I thought I wanted to do this with my own page, but I just never got around to it. Feel like I was juggling so much. So I have a blog called Maranda, uh, Marandom, of course, and a combination of my name and random because I'm extremely random. But I do Marandom conversations with entrepreneurs on Monday nights on my Instagram page. And so I go live in the 9 o'clock hour. I decide to be real loose with it. So sometimes around 9, sometimes around 9:30 ish. And I just talk to random entrepreneurs. Before the epidemic, the pandemic hit, um, I was meeting with entrepreneurs live. I had started a live event here in the city
Mhm.
where entrepreneurs could register RSVP, and we would only take so many in, just the first come, first serve.
Okay.
And we would mingle and mix in a room. And the name of the event was called A Lot Alike, because the purpose of it was to help people understand that as entrepreneurs, as business owners, at the end of the day, we're a lot more alike than we are different.
Yeah.
And, you know, for you, those people who might talk in a tone or talk down, or really be speaking in a way to where they're feeling like they're above people in their business because they're further along than you. The truth is that everybody started pretty much essentially in the same place, not knowing. And wherever they are, there's still things ahead of them that they just don't know. So at
Yes.
any given moment, we're all on the same journey, on the same, you know, pathway of trying to grow a business when it comes to the entrepreneur world, really just being a human being in life. You can really apply this to anything.
Yeah.
So I try to be very cautious of my tone. I'm not perfect by any means, but I try to be very cautious in the way that I talk and encourage people. But for me, all of my aggression, any aggression people might get from me, it all comes from a place of pushing people into growth.
Mm.
So I think because my bones and my core, my heart is genuine. I guess it sometimes comes across that way, even though sometimes I can be a little bit aggressive, but I try not to be condescending in my tone. But yeah, so we just link up and talk about anything. So we've talked about on that on anything from self-care meditation and how
Mhm.
essential this is to entrepreneurship, to networking, to the fear of moving and showing up in perfection in your business, to, I mean, really, you name it. We kind of tapped on a few topics over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Um, I like I said, I definitely appreciate the manner that you speak. And then like I like stuff to be common sense. I don't like to have to think too hard when I'm trying to learn something or trying to get at something. And a lot of people don't understand that, man. They become aware. I'm like, listen, I understand you went to college, I didn't finish. So I might not have learned that word. That might have been in the junior year. I'm only a sophomore. I was done. So don't give me junior words.
Yeah. You know,
I
I think I think a lot of times people want to sound a lot more intelligent sometimes than they think they really are, or maybe they are just as intelligent as they want to sound. And a lot of times, sometimes it's insecurities. People are trying to prove that they are worthy or belong in a place, in a space. They're trying to validate their credentials or the title that they're actually operating under. And so sometimes we go above and beyond. But what we forget as entrepreneurs sometimes is that relatability when it comes to the people you're serving is the most important thing. So you have to think in your head, who are you showing up for on your screen? Are you showing up for your cohorts, like people who do the same thing that you do, so you can look and compete with them? Or are you really showing up for the people that's sitting in front of you that's really trying to process and digest the information? And
yeah,
so I'm mad focused on the people that I serve.
yeah,
I'm mad focused on the entrepreneurs and the creatives and the people who are like me, is like, wait, what does this mean? How do I get this? How do I? So I'm really sensitive to the space that the people that I'm talking to are in. And so when I show up on the lives, I'm not showing up for all the people that I think are watching me to critique me and see if I'm gonna make it or win, or who might be watching me to see, if I really know what I'm talking about. I don't even think about them anymore. I try to think about them less and less. It's a practice because I know we're human. So it's like we always feel like people are watching us, but you have to really get in the mindset of making the person that you serve the priority every time you show up in a business. And I think that's extremely important. It'll shape the way that you talk to people.
yeah.
And then also too, I also apply, when I did radio for years, we were taught in radio to speak and talk at an eighth grade level. And this is for radio, you know what I mean, to be relatable and connect to the audience. And so you really want to make sure that the things you're saying are digestible to a child. Almost like, can a child understand what I'm saying if they were pulling up to this conversation?
Mm,
Because not because people are slow and stupid in general, but because uh, we don't want to have to work so hard to process things. Just like you said, we have enough on a daily basis to think about, make a decision about. If I could wear, I remember I used to work at a place where we used to wear uniforms, and I remember kind of being bent out of shape about it. But then I was like, yo, I don't have to think about what to put on when I come to work. Bet. Like, one less decision you have to make. I think it was like Mark Zuckerberg who would wear the same thing over and over again. He had like a ton of gray sweaters or
mm,
something like that, or hoodies that he would just wear, so he wouldn't have to make the decision
right.
of what to wear every day. And I think that's the mindset of most people. We have so many things we're deciding, so many things that we're having to remember and think about. And so when you can show up and make something very simple and less complicated for people, they value that and they draw to that, and they're more likely to do business with you when you make it clear.
Y'all better be taking notes. Y'all better. So
Yep.
down in the sip, right? That's I
Sure.
learned that in the
Sip.
sip.
Yeah, you
I
did.
can't say it right. I'm sipping this sip. I,
Sip.
we gonna sing our song before it's over, but that's on us. I'm down in the sip.
Okay.
It's Synergy nights.
Sure.
Events happening. What am I expecting? What should I be expecting? Talk to me because I know. Listen, I've watched people on your live who's been a part of your event and how they cannot wait to get back. I've watched your eyes turn to stars when you talk about it. I've watched your eyes actually become a different person when you talk about, oh, let me tell you what happened in my event. Let me tell you what we did and what we do. I cannot wait to experience that. But for someone who has not heard of it, never been
Sure.
in the SIP, never come to your event, what could one expect?
Sure. Well, I want to correct something. So it is our event, right? And when I say our, I mean like everybody that is present, right? And so it's not really my event, it's our event.
Ah,
Synergy Night is it definitely belongs to everybody who is a part, who's ever been a part, who's ever participated. And I don't just mean artists and creatives. I mean the people who are in the audience who are faithful, Synergy Nights fam, who are regulars, who have been rocking with us since the beginning. We have people that have been rocking with us and sitting in the sun, sitting in the same area since the beginning, and taking us with them on the road when they travel with their band, talking about us in other places. And a lot of people come from out of town. And this is what I'll get a lot. I'm going to tell you the aftermath, and then I'll walk you through the experience. But this is like the residue of synergy for people. A lot of out of towners will come through and grab me up by the arm and say, yo, I didn't know nothing like this exists. Like, I don't even feel like I'm in Jackson. Like, this is crazy. Like, how long have y'all been doing this? I didn't know this was happening. Yada, yada, yada. Or people who lived here would leave, and I'll hear and get in my DMs quite often. Yo, Miranda, I miss you. I ain't found nothing like Synergy. Like, I go to open mics. I go to places. I hadn't found nothing like what's happening at Synergy. I miss it. I can't wait when I come back. When is it again? Like, remind me of and so but we're pretty consistent with the days that we are on. We were every second and fourth Saturday, and then more recently, before COVID happened, we went to once a month, just to kind of ease up and give people a break. But what synergy is it's an experience. So let's start with the name. What synergy is, by definition, is where two or more things come together. One or more things come together to produce an effect that's greater than one. That is, by definition, what synergy is. And so we realized, me and Tiger Rogers, who is the co-creator of Synergy Nights, he's a saxophonist here out of Jackson, Mississippi. Amazing saxophonist. Does all the extra stuff, including playing two saxophones out of one mouth. Whatever. He does the most, right? So he's really talented. And we decided to call it that because we realized that when you call a thing, it becomes that. So that's
Yeah.
what Synergy, it absolutely did. So all of the arts came together. So we have live painting. So we have artists that is set up in the front by the stage. They start with a blank canvas, and they create a masterpiece throughout the night. Our current last couple of years, we've been housing Sabrina Howard. Before then, it was Tony Davenport. We've had Tony Davenport is an amazing artist too, as well. He started with us. Tony was our guy for the first couple of years, so he's always Synergy family, hands down. And he moved to Memphis. And then Poet Williams, who's been a photographer for Synergy for years, and then also has painted as well. So shout out to Poet Williams, who really shaped and helped brand and took some of the most amazing pictures we've ever had taken throughout the years. He would take pictures of artists and poets on stage, and we would post them, and people would take the pictures and make them their profile pictures. That's how dope the pictures were. If they were a whack poet, you would know it by looking at the picture, because he would make them look like, I mean, and so so anyway, so there was that. So there's live painting, a live DJ. Sean Mack has been our DJ for forever, since the beginning of time. And so DJ Sean Mack, he's Black Radio on Instagram. He really understands old school, new school, the open mic era. He's been around in the open mic community for years.
Mm.
Back when we used to have other open mics that used to be kind of legendary here in the state. We had a guy that ran an event and a place for 11 years. So shout out to Seven and Ezra Brown. So anyway, so Sean is our DJ. So he would play old school. Like, he plays like the good old school, like mix and put a little new school, but it's mostly like that neo soul, perfect vibe, Kanye in and out, De La. So like, he just people in and they're like, okay. So in the beginning, there's that. We have a live band, and Tiger is playing. So there's always a live band. And then you got me, the foolishness, poets. So I'm hosting. So it's the perfect storm. So you have live music, you have live painting, you have a live DJ that starts and kicks it off. And when the thing about Synergy is why people love it so much is because when you walk in, the atmosphere shifts, right? So people are vibing, talking. It's always designed where people are sitting so close, like even when you don't know people, you're vibing with them in the audience. And what happens is once the show starts, it's not just about the poets and the performers. It's about the audience and the engagement.
Yeah.
So from the jump, I'm engaging and talking to the audience, and they're talking back. It's mad communication. We do this thing where they participate in a couple of games we play. They send forth questions to ask, and we ask random, ridiculous questions. We have inside jokes that people who have been to Synergy for years kind of know about. And I mean, they're always asking me to throw my ass in a circle. It's just ridiculous, right? It's like an ongoing thing for somebody to either randomly ask or the band to randomly start playing, throw the ass in a circle, and everybody like, yeah, do it. It's just an ongoing, we're like family, like seriously. And so for 7 years, the beautiful thing about this also too is that we've seen Black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican, Indian. I mean, like literally, so many people have come through over the years and have been a part. And what's happened also too is that people will invite their mothers and their aunts. Um, yeah, so I know I'm rambling on about it, but there's
No,
just so
no.
much. I mean, it's just so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, people will invite. So you can anywhere from a 22-year-old to somebody celebrating their 50th birthday. And we've had somebody's grandmother in there, like no lie, like legit. Somebody's grandma's been in there and stayed till like 11:30. And I was like, oh, that's wow. So I don't know. It's just a weird space of awesomeness. Yeah.
We did like I said, we celebrated 7 years with our open mic too this year, right? And I remember one of the local rappers came in and he brought his mom to celebrate her birthday there.
Yeah.
And which was doing his erotic poetry. And I mean, just the manner by which she was so in tune with it, right? And she, because I was like, oh shoot, this lady, right, who's older than I am, is not gonna be wanting to hear, but the way that it happened is because of the energy. And that's why I wanted you to talk about your event, because I don't know the energy of your event, but I can understand it because again, when we started, it wasn't that same energy until I started hosting. Because I saw what I wanted and not what I was, you know what I'm saying? And not saying anything about hosts that I had previous to me taking over and hosting. It's just it just didn't give me what I wanted. And I didn't get that until I began hosting, and it comes a different thing. And that energy can't be replaced. Like there's nothing you can do to change that. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
this is that perfect grilled cheese sandwich. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When that bologna fried just right, this is that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that the host sets the tone for the entire event, and it matters. I've had substitute hosts over the years for every once in a while when I might be out of town or when I was traveling for work.
Mhm.
And so I would have like people sub in, and without fail, somebody would be in my inbox like, "Yo, Maranda, you gonna be here next week? Like, you gonna be at the next one? Because if not, They would literally sometimes almost treat me like the pastor. You know how if he's a guest pastor, be like, "Well, I ain't going to church today because the pastor ain't gonna be there. He said it was gonna be a guest speaker, so I just wait till next Sunday." And I would, so I totally get that, and I agree that the host really sets the tone. I've been trying to replace myself for about the last 4 years for sure, though,
I'm
just
gonna
so I could.
tell you, I
It's
did.
possible.
Let me tell you what happened. I'm not going to mention the host, but people were actually texting me. I'm at the event. They're texting me in the event. Get this dude off the stage. Oh, I said it's a guy. Okay, get them off the mic. What are they doing? And I'm like, oh, and they're in the audience. It was so bad that they text someone who wasn't at the event, who texts me during the event, you need to change up what's happening. And I thought about that, right? Everybody's not gonna like everybody.
Oh yeah, no.
But when it's that impactful, when it shifts the energy like that, you really have to really rethink what's happening and make sure you're not just accepting somebody else's opinion because they don't like something, or if that's
Yeah,
actually taking, you know what I'm saying? If that's really, really major. So
sure,
the host, I have a really good question for you since we're talking about hosting.
sure.
Let's say I said, listen, what is your annual income now? And I could match that, and all you have to do is host events. Now, obviously, not every day hosting an event, but I'm saying I can match your annual income if you will host for me my event. And it doesn't matter, like everything's, you don't have to worry about anything. Anything's taken care of, right? I'm just trying to get to how much you enjoy hosting. Is it a like thing? Is it I'm cool with it, or is it I love hosting thing?
Um, I mean, I like it, but I don't feel like Uh, I don't know. I mean, I would really have to think that over to leave what I'm doing to host fully. While it seems like a good escape and like, oh, I could do that. That's easy, you know. What I love right now is what I do. And in hosting, while I do absolutely love hosting, the one thing that I do know about hosting is that it's draining. It takes a lot of energy to maintain the energy of a room, and that can be that can pull on you, and so you really do have to go back and recharge as a host. You know, and so, you know, a lot of times I lose energy and I find somewhere to go, or I have to burn off some steam, or I'm up to like, you know, the wee hours of the morning. You know, we would end around midnight, and then, you know, everybody wrapping up. I'm leaving about 1. Sometimes I can go to sleep to 3 or 4, you know, and leading into the next day. But I love what I do, and I don't know that my purpose is wrapped up in hosting. So I don't know that I would be fulfilled.
Got you.
Just to answer your question, but I do love hosting because I get it, I understand it, I know it's multifaceted. I know there's multiple things happening, and my mind is always going 90 to nothing. I'm always thinking about the audience experience. I'm always
Hmm.
thinking about the people who are coming on stage and their experience. I'm always thinking about what's next, what can
Yeah.
keep the energy up when it's down. Like, where do we need to go? Do we need to go to the game? Because we do this thing called the lyric game, and some people be like, "Man, I just come for the lyric game because it's crazy," you know. And so, because it can get wild, it could just, in any minute, synergy can go left, and people are like, "Yo, I, I didn't know that was gonna happen." We do the same thing literally every synergy, and it's like, you know, for me, it's kind of like Groundhog's Day, but literally, no synergy is the same.
They
I don't
can't.
even. The audience creates it. No synergy is the same, and there have been some wild things to happen, and we're just like, "What is going on?" So I don't know. Yeah.
I had, we did, I want to say we did a slam. I think it was an all female slam. It might have been Queen of the South. It might have been something to that effect, right? We did a slam. And there was a moment where there was, okay, I don't know what pronoun the person would use. It was an individual who took the stage, and it was their coming out poem that they were doing on the stage. So with slam, you know, you can't use props. That's just can't be it, right? So I called the individual to the stage, and um, the individual was intoxicated, right? But I was looking like that's not how your wardrobe looked when you came in.
Yeah.
And and then during the poem, the person is pulling their shirt up and pulling their tutu out and all this stuff on the stage. And I'm like, only here could that possibly happen. Now, obviously, they're going to be disqualified because they're using props. But
Sure, sure, sure.
I thought about it later. Like I had to remove them off the stage at some point because it was like a 15-minute long poem that, you know, first of all, you already violated because you use a prop. But I'm just saying, like, in those moments, it really makes you appreciate being a host in a space that somebody will feel that comfortable to do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's random stuff. Like you paid to slam,
Sure.
and you know what I mean. So those are the moments that I think, when it comes to hosting, that I absolutely fall in love with, and I don't think you can't make that shit up.
No, you can't. And I have one that is very similar to that one. And that lady was hilarious. She should have been a comedian. So we do this thing called Ask Synergy, where the audience can send up questions. So we do they're like random post-it notes all over on everybody's table and pens. So you know, wherever you're sitting. And so all night people can write a question on the post-it note and then fold it in it. And you know, I don't know where it came from, who it came from. I just have people collect it, or I'll collect it, put them in my pocket, or put them in my bra, and then I get up there and I'll be like, all right, here go the question, you know. So so people will ask anything, whether it's sexual, whether it's political, about relationships, about stuff that's happening socially, like literally, it's just wide open. And so one time somebody was inquiring about oral sex, I believe was the question. Either it was about threesomes or oral sex. I believe it was about oral sex. So anyway, so we had the open discussion of it really briefly, and then we moved on with the show. And then this lady came up, and I can't remember. I think she was up there for the lyric game. I don't even think she was performing. I think she was up there for the lyric game, and I was questioning her about what she did, who she was, where she was from. And this lady, first of all, she had a boot on her leg. And then she started telling this story about, and I don't know how she got to this story, but she started telling this story about how she was, oh, because people don't know why she had the boot on her leg.
Uh-huh.
And she was talking, she went into this story about how she was in the woods with these white people. And first of all, she was saying, I don't know why I was in the woods with white people anyway, but she's in the woods with white people and they do things. And she started talking about this flying squirrel that flew towards her and how that's how she twisted her ankle because it was a flying squirrel or something. But she had the audience so captivated by the story and they were cracking up. And then she went into her thing. And then she went into her thing where she was talking about something, but she started talking about the how to get, oh, she answered the question too about, how to give, oral sex, and she was talking about not having teeth in your mouth, and it was just out of control. And then somewhere along the way towards the end, I missed it visually, but somebody caught it on camera. She ended up showing her underwear on the stage. I was over to the front, like by the door, and then everybody, and I just knew the place erupted, and I was like, wait, what happened? I missed it. And apparently, this lady just showed it was a part of her thing. She just showed it in the performance. She just, hey, look at my white drawers. Okay, all right.
I'm gonna tell you one of the one of the best moments that happens at, because I'm not a trap rap person, right? I don't do,
Okay.
and it's usually Lovely or when Kim Hype comes to my event, and the DJ knows that I don't do trap, and I'm usually with DJ Facade. DJ Facade's been with me like forever, like since the beginning, pretty much. Um, and he knows I don't do trap, so I'll get ready to come up, and it'll be Lovely. It's usually Lovely or Kim Hype, and he'll put the only trap song that I'll be like looking at him, and then Lovely usually breaks down with a twerk session. And like for whatever reason, it just happened to be like a part of the event. Like I don't care
Yeah.
what event, it could be a slam. It
Yeah.
just happens to be a part of the event. And those are one of those moments that it's like, you know what? This is why I love what I do. This
Hmm.
is because of this moment, because it's like people are waiting for it. They don't know when it's coming, and then it just happens. But it's
Yeah.
that random shit like that that makes it like, you know what? Yeah, I'm here for all of this. Write it down, seal the deal. This is what I'm here for. That's like the best
Yeah.
part of it. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I've had artists. We actually on our anniversary, was it last year? Maybe I think it was last year.
Hmm.
We pulled a couple of people from Synergy together to do like a little documentary thing, behind the scenes thing, and um and people were sharing their stories and experience. And one of the artists that had come there had been frequent for years. He talked about how he was feeling suicidal, and Synergy was one of the things that saved him, having that outlet in that space to be able to release and come, and how his car had broke down one time and how he walked the rest of the way to get there, and just how heavy he was that night. And I remember that night, like I'm getting chills a little bit thinking about it. But he came in with such a heavy energy, and he's such a good performer, and people were familiar with him and his music, his original music, by the way. And he came in super heavy, and I remember him just being heavy, and I remember everybody, like a lot of people, just pulling him to the side, having conversations, and that was even like he performed, and you could tell he was just like depleted on the stage performing. And I remember Tiger reaching and hugging him on stage, like with the saxophone. There was a moment, and a photographer caught it, and so it's like one of the pictures that we post a lot, where Tiger was reaching and embracing him, and he
Yeah.
talked about that night. I didn't know it was he was considering suicide, and those things were happening. But those type of stories, and then so many audience and people, and people who just come for the experience, talk about how it's just a release from all the things they have, and how therapeutic a lot of people describe the space, and what happens there is. And so these type of events are extremely important, which is
Absolutely.
why I'm really scared to start it back up during this pandemic, because I know even in the midst of the pandemic, even with the real threat or concern of what's happening, people are going to show up.
We're gonna.
And I just don't want to be responsible for, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. So I care a lot about the people. So I really want this to level off so we can get back to having and holding that space for people.
Yeah, I want to get back to normal. I want to get back
Yes.
to, because at the end of Say Word Tuesdays, everybody's hugging. I remember when my ex fiance had passed. and I mean, I'm having a breakdown pretty much on stage, and I mean, everybody who was there that night just came to the stage, and we just hugging at the stage. The DJ left the DJ booth, like everybody's just there, and those are moments that you can't replace. Like, you don't know what to do with that, and it's like, you can't, you can never make that happen. It just happens. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be like, okay, boy, 2:45 in 36 seconds, we going. It don't happen like that, and it's just a magic to see people gel. When somebody come in and they talk about, tonight was my last night if I wasn't here, and I really
Yeah.
was considering. They called me at one time. I was called the poetry pastor, and I was like, hell no,
That's
don't
funny.
you dare. But I understood
That's
then
funny.
what that was, and I understood
Yeah.
what we were. There was a community service we were giving at this particular event that was actually a therapeutic thing for a lot of people. So, yeah, I totally get that. I totally get
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
I got some fun questions for you.
Oh boy, I'm scared.
Fun
Let me take
questions.
let me
This is
take a
all fun.
swig.
You take you a swig because this is all fun questions. Um, what are your top favorite artists?
Top
Top five.
favorite
Give me top
artist?
five. Top five. Doesn't matter what genre. Top five.
Like artist, period. Like just
Artists, periods. I don't care what what kind of art they do. Just your top five.
ooh, Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
Okay. Top five favorite artists. I would have to say, let's start with one of the goats, okay? So she comes to mind off the rip. I hear echo. Is that me? Is that just me that hears echo?
I don't hear echo now, but we
Oh,
got a storm coming over here, so I don't know. Maybe it's shifting some shit in your
I,
direction.
I I put in my headset, so I want to take them out. Okay. You think it's the Bluetooth?
I don't know, but I don't hear it.
Oh, okay. It's just me. I hear it. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's your shit.
no. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it was the headphones. Okay, so I'll start with the great Erica Badu. Hands down. I'm not gonna go into explanation. I'm just gonna name them. Okay, so
That's fine.
is that what you want? You just want me to name them? Okay.
Yeah, it's up to you. It's your time. It's all about you right now.
Well, Erica Badu just because of one, her artistry, but two, just how unapologetic she is and who she is. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've had like I can still hear that because I put these back in. I've had my okay. You can hear me? Good. Okay. I've had my own experience with Erica Badu.
Do you have is you turn your volume down? That might be what it is.
I don't think so, but I'll turn it down.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe.
Okay. Yeah. It's cool.
That
So I've had my own experience with Erica Badu. And I went to a concert and just had an encounter with her. So it was phenomenal. It was in Memphis and it was at a festival. And she came by me and shoved the microphone in my face when I needed it. And it was like, I got it on video. I wrote a whole blog about it on my blog, Maranda.blog, and have video to prove it. Okay. So there was that. Erica Badu is one. Oh, this is hard. It's so wide open.
Uh-huh. That's why I don't give you the questions before time. I want you to just come to your mind. It's more, yeah.
Well, I'm just going to give you my top five women, and all of them are really artists, but we're gonna roll with it.
That's fine.
But acting is a form of art, and so
it is.
It would be the same thing. So Tracy Ellis Ross is hands down one of my favorite people. I give my top five women.
She has the best shape in the world. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry.
You said what now?
Her shape is just ridiculous.
Are we talking about her physical?
Yes, I'm talking about her physical. Yes.
So this is what I love about her. Is her freedom and her silliness and goofiness. Because I'm mad, and just her freedom in that, and her ability to stand in who she is. Being the daughter of Diana Ross is one thing to have to live up and stand in that space, but she just has made such a space for herself, and she's just real unapologetic about her sense of humor and the way she shows up in this world, and I love that about her. It's admirable and inspiring.
Yeah.
And then the other one would be, oh man, let me think about the art world. And it's hard for me because I don't, outside of my local artists here, I mean, because I go hard for the artists that I'm around,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'm not really so into the art world where I'm like, I know all the artists. I see Instagram artists and I follow them, but their names don't really resonate with me. But the
Mm-hmm.
artists that are here, I gotta honor and acknowledge Sabrina Howard, who I work with and has worked with me with Synergy. I've never seen anything like her. She is ridiculous. And when I say ridiculous, I mean she will take trash, literally trash, and bring it into Synergy and create and turn it into a canvas. And then at the end of the night, you're like, what the hee haw?
Wow.
Like, how did you get this?
Did you say what the hee haw?
What the hee haw? That's, like, what is happening? There was an exhibit, and her and two other phenomenal artists, Adrian Dominic and Talamika Bryce, who Talamika Bryce just went viral for her she did a photo shoot where she was smoking a cigar and setting a Make America Great Again hat on fire. I don't
Oh
know if you saw
wow.
that. Yeah, so
No.
like DL Hughley picked it up, like she just went viral overnight because of this photo shoot that she did with somebody. She's smoking a cigar and you can see the smoke in the background. She's in the background, but the hat is close and the Make America Great hat again was on fire and she was using it to light her cigar.
Wow.
Like, so anyway, these three ladies did a art exhibit here, a show not too long ago. And Sabrina created from wood a Harriet Tubman piece, but it was wood. It wasn't like a canvas, like, oh, that's a nice painting. She built a wood piece and then painted Harriet Tubman on it. It was a door. And at the bottom of Harriet Tubman was the door that was functioning, that you could open and walk through.
Wow. Wow.
What? Just the symbolism, like the.
They're saying they keep hearing the echo from your side. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm telling you.
I don't hear it. I really don't hear it.
It ain't my stuff, it's your stuff. See what I'm saying? Like, I'm just
I
using
don't,
my iPhone.
yeah, I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, it's a hard echo. Like,
Okay.
I'll say something and it comes right back to me.
I don't know. Maybe it's because of the storm. I don't know.
I don't know, but it wasn't happening at first. It literally just started happening. Like
It must have been the storm because I haven't done anything.
Mm.
Okay, keep talking. We'll fix it. I'll try to EQ it later on or some shit.
Well, I hope they can understand me. So, okay. So that's 3. Can we stop at 3? We need 5.
Okay, we can stop. We can stop at 3 if you want. That's fine.
Let's see, like 2 more people. That would take so much thinking for me to like narrow this down because I love music so much.
Yeah.
And
just give me first 2 come to your mind. Just give it to first 2 come to your mind.
Like first 2 artists and people?
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's the first song that come to your mind right quick? Boom. First song in your mind.
Well, I'm really sappy and I'm like a hopeless
romantic.
So I'm setting it up. So Brian McKnight, he's so old school, but he's really like his stuff is like starts to sound alike. Like I love Brian McKnight. I could put him on and like listen to Brian McKnight like all day. And when I'm in that mood and that vein. And I am often telling Siri to play me some 90s R&B, so I know she's like sick of me and over that. But I'll tell you who I've been listening to a lot probably lately too is Wale. And I like Wale just because he is poetic in the way that he performs, the way that he writes. And so I love the flow of his music. So he's right now one of the people that I pick up on and that I'm just listening to him. I don't know that I'll put him in my top 5 favorites, but I am in the vein of listening to his music because it is speaking to me in this moment. So
Brian McKnight, I love his music. I just will not go see him in concert again.
Why not?
I fell asleep at his Anytime show.
That's hilarious.
His Anytime album. And when I tell you, I used to burp my daughter, who's 19 now, to Brian McKnight. After her mother feed her, I'm playing Still in Love, and I'm burping her. I was a Brian McKnight fan. I couldn't wait for the Anytime. Once that Anytime album came out, and they announced it was coming to Charlotte, I got tickets. I was there. Great seats. You know what I mean? I don't believe in if I got to go in the nosebleed, I'm not going. I'm not doing that.
Sure.
Great seats, and I was and I was like,
Yeah, I can
I
believe
was like,
that. That's what
nah,
I'm saying. Like he's mad. Like I don't know that I would. I've never seen him in concert. I don't know that I've ever desired to see him in concert, just because I feel like it would be like that. Like after a while, I kind of be over the songs because he doesn't
yeah,
have the energy
yeah,
level to me to keep my attention. But his music, like
and he can't dance.
it's real.
He
You
can't
know,
dance. Can't
but
dance at all.
I believe that Moody's "Mood for Love," his version of that. I used to sing that to my son when he was
Oh,
younger. I can't sing, but we used to sing that song, and he like
uh,
remembers.
she
You know,
saw me going to put on spot. I was gonna say, sing something.
hell no, hell no.
Top
But
five most inspirational people ever to you. Doesn't matter if they're artists or just somebody you love. Inspiration. Top five, dead or alive.
oh man.
It could be somebody famous. Just top five.
Okay, so I was giving you my top five anyway, like when
Hmm.
you asked me about artists, and so I'll give you those, but I can replace, I guess, two of them. But
Okay.
so I'll give you my top five women: Erica Badu,
Hmm.
Tracy Ellis Ross, and they're all for very different reasons:
Right.
Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Wow.
These are my top five Black women that inspire me, that I am motivated by, and each one of them for very different reasons. You know, Erica Badu, I've already explained. Tracy Ellis Ross, I've already explained. Michelle Obama is just because of her ability to stand strong in the face of resistance. The way that she carries herself, the class, and the way that she stands firmly in who she is as an African American woman, unapologetically. And then at the same time, she's just so doggone relatable. Like I love that about her. Like
Yeah.
she doesn't seem intangible. She seems like if she came here, it'd be like, hey, I feel like I would be uh, the most important thing if I was standing in front of her at that moment.
Yeah.
So she seems
Yeah.
very present in addition to being who she is.
I would love to have
Um,
a conversation with her. Absolutely.
you said what now?
I would love to sit and have a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then Oprah Winfrey, solely because of her work ethic, and the way that she has expanded and built and capitalized off the brand of who she is. It is admirable. And yeah, I'm so inspired by seeing the expansion and how she continues to recreate her brand
Yeah.
and expand it.
Yeah.
And then she really understands her audience, and she unapologetically caters to her audience, even in the midst of noise and what people have to say about who she is and how she shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's winning. Billionaire winning. Whatever you got to say, she has a B behind her name, and it's not the rap B. Okay.
Not at all. Her work. I mean, it stands for itself. Whatever one might not like or disagree about her work, you cannot. You can't penetrate what she's done in her career. So yeah.
Yeah, but you
Um.
also can't be that big and not have a multitude of people being against you. Nobody. So there's
Yeah.
nobody in the public eye, period, including
Yeah.
Oprah. But it sucks because it's times two that she's a Black woman, right? Um, but I digress. You can't have that type of exposure and fame and not have to deal with that type of stuff. It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, there's that.
She's.
Um, and then the Jada Pinkett, just for her authenticity, in trying to figure things out, right? In the world of showing up, going through hardship, and being vulnerable as she fumbles through that. That
Hmm.
vulnerability in her
Yeah.
to be able to do that, whether she hits it every time, misses it a little bit, doesn't get it. The sheer fact that she is being vulnerable in the way that she is, letting people at this point in her life the way that she is, and into her healing process, however that looks, however ugly it looks, for
Hmm.
anybody and everybody to judge, I think is admirable.
All her
Um,
tangibles.
it takes a lot of guts to do that. And
Yeah.
so shout out to her for that.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's admirable because vulnerability is one of the things that I feel like is a strength.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so even in the midst of her, she might miss it. She might not get it right, but she shows up. And I think that's beautiful. Period.
And all her intangibles. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So anybody has
Um,
anything to say about anybody that does that, at the end of the day, if we pull back the covers on your life, it'd be a shit show too. So it
yeah.
just, people just really get really judgy
and people usually are aggressively judgmental when their life is really shitty. So because it deflects, it takes the
Yeah.
shine off them anyway. So there's
Yeah.
that.
I I've not heard Kelly what's her name? Diana Ross's daughter. Ellis Ross.
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Tracy, that's what I'm trying to say. I've not heard Tracy since I've been hosting this show, this one show. And I've not heard Jada. And I'm very interested in the whys, but I like how and why you chose them. And I agree 100% with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I only have one more question. And
Okay. It's like a
this
quiz.
question is, you're on a road trip.
Okay.
Okay. You cannot fly. You got to go now. Right. And it's nothing major had happened, that no bad news. You just have to take this trip. What music are you playing in this during this trip? It's a 4-hour trip. What's the first thing you go into? What's your go-to? Like, I gotta play this. This gotta be on my playlist.
Yeah, I think so. Are you asking me for a specific song or just in general?
Whatever, however you want to answer that is fine.
Okay. So if I'm riding and I'm taking a road trip that's a long trip, here's the really interesting thing about me and road trips, because I have taken quite a few in my life. Like my grandmother, when I was younger, I've been a busybody all my life. Like, I am a go baby. As a matter of fact, my aunt and my mom always tell the story of when I was a baby and they brought me home from the hospital and I got into the house and I was crying uncontrollably, like crying. They thought something was wrong with me and they were like, oh my God, let me take her back to the hospital. Like, we need to see if something's happening because we can't get her to calm down. And they got in the car with me and then I stopped crying. Right. So I was that baby. And they were like, this girl, we gonna choke. So I think all my life I have been like, let's go, where are we going? Ironically, on road trips, if I'm not riding in silence for most of them, I'm either listening to an audiobook or a podcast.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean,
so I listen to music in the most weird spaces. On the road, I'm okay with it, but it's not my go-to when I get in the car.
got you. Listen, we got 3 minutes left. I want you to tell the people where they can find you, how they can support you, if they need your services, how they can do that, because I don't want to miss that. Unless you want to come on over to the live after we finish here. I'll let you say that now, unless you're coming over to the live, because there's some people asking questions that I didn't get to answer. But it's just, this is how it works. If we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't.
I got you. Well, I like legit have like a crap load of stuff to do before noon, and I have a call in a minute. I got to get on.
I'll get you back on.
Yeah. So I'm a brand strategist. So this is who my business and who I work with and what I do. If you are someone that is struggling to be to communicate your message and what and who you do and how you do it. I'm sorry, not who you do, what you do and how you do it. In your business, if you're struggling on how to show up in social media, how to show up in marketing, the right things to say, if you don't quite know your brand message and voice, if you don't know your why, if you're unclear about your mission statement and your vision, you've never been able to formulate an elevator pitch, right? Really connecting and understanding the purpose, your purpose, really, because I do that as well. That by default, I connect people to purpose, connect that to their messaging, organize their business message and the brand. And then we talk about strategy for how you show up on social media. If you're that type of entrepreneur that has been struggling to connect to your audience, then I am the person that you come see. It's a 3-session process, and I work with all types of business owners. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you're not sure about what you should be doing, if you have a desire to be an entrepreneur, if you're just starting out, if you're 4 or 5 years in, I see them all. And yeah, you can connect with me on social media at MarandaJoyner.com. That's Maranda. It's right there. Oh, it's right here. There we go. Okay. It's Maranda Joiner. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can find me anywhere. Also, my website is the same, first and last name.com.
Gotcha.
And yeah, just connect and set up a free call if you're interested, and we'll get started.
Cool, cool. Well, we got like 30 seconds, so I'm gonna thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate y'all so much. Thanks for welcoming our guest, the lovely Miranda Jr. Thank you for being here. Please, if you can't find her, hit me up. I'll make sure you get in contact with her. Like always, I ask you to challenge yourself today to be a better person than you was yesterday. You have everything you need to be great, successful, and amazing. So go out there and do it because can't nobody else be you. And like Stefan says, I love you, and you can't beat me loving you. So y'all have a good day. Stay amazing and stay blessed. And we will see y'all tomorrow morning. Peace and love.
Bye.